So the set-top box is likely to become, the gateway or part of the gateway for home networking. Is the set-top box manufacturer going to take any responsibility for what happens in that network beyond the set-top box? One of the things they must provide is the ability to offload to the rest of the network, but what happens at the device on the other end? And also, does the set-top box care what kind of a network it is at that point? Is it Wi-Fi, femtocell, Ethernet?
One of the interesting things about our history in the IPTV world is you can see the rationale for operators taking up more of a central role in that kind of home gateway function. An example would be Fios in the US, a Verizon service, where you lay fiber to the home, bolt a box on the wall, which is the home gateway, and then everything else is a subsidiary device to that kind of environment. And the box on the wall is owned and managed by Verizon as part of your service. And of course, then you've synthesized TV, broadband and phone service together in some kind of managed unit in the home. So you can see operators taking responsibility and deploying hardware inside the home to effectively, lock all of those three services in a long-term kind of paradigm.
And are they going to turn to set-top box people to provide that, Jason? I mean, are they going to...
It's difficult to see how that easily translates into the satellite and cable model, if you like. Right? So that's what I was going to say.
I mean, as has been just mentioned and as we touched on earlier, I think that the controlling element comes from the operator and increasingly their partner, the middleware vendor, is less to do with the set-top box maker. The set-top box maker is providing the hardware, which, your communication links, be it Wi-Fi, power line, Mocha communication. But other than that, the controlling element, how the devices interact and actually interoperate, is down to the specification by the operator and the software that sits on the box, not so much the set-top box maker has little to do with that.
Well, as somebody who has to integrate those boxes, do you care what kind of a network it is, or do you...
No, there's cost and bandwidth implications, certainly, and regional differences. But I think as long as we're reacting to the operator's rather conservative, limited view of the world, boxes aren't going to evolve very quickly, and they're going to hit these walls. I think people don't want to use their PC to watch TV. I mean, there are a few, and you do it as you do it occasionally when you want to see the sports game or whatever. When you're traveling, but it's a fairly small market, and it's a great service to keep you linked into a specific service provider. But in the home, and for the most part, PCs are not central. They're too difficult to use. They're usually used for something else. And set-top boxes are not morphing into PCs, although there's a lot of complexity and a lot of processing power that's needed to meet a lot of these new features. The trick is to do that energy efficiently and much more easily than, say, the operating systems that we've become used to on PCs. As far as the interface or the communication bus or the local area network technology, I think that's a regional or a market or a segment-driven thing.
You asked the question, what does the operator need in order to continue to subsidize boxes? And that's one easy question. The answer to that one, that's control over the box. That's the only thing they really need.
Yeah, exactly. Control over
that's the example used from the US.
Over the box and the way in which it distributes to the wider network.
Yeah.
But there is also the implication that if you want to participate in the home network, you have to have a little bit of responsibility for that as well, and some revenue stream to pay for that, pay for that support, right? So
in terms of it's plug and play, but it doesn't, and then you have to.
Subscribers, the other kind of customer, not the operators. The subscribers are very picky when they can't see the TV they want to see. I mean, if
it's
you
not
can't
like
see
a PC failure.
your Super Bowl, it's a national disaster, right? So
if your phone's over the same line, that's really
that's pretty bad as well. Yeah. Although people are expecting less than stellar cell phone service these days, but certainly,
and they get it.
Yeah, but certainly, if the TV goes out at a particular moment and the home network happens to be involved in that delivery, then you're definitely on the hook. as a
yeah, there's
pay TV
kind of a
operator.
hierarchy of forgiveness, isn't there, in terms of QoS, and TV is absolutely at the bottom.
Pretty well, yeah. I mean, the kid's screaming or the husband's screaming or whatever. Yeah. Pretty serious. So yeah, it's important, I think, to consider, you know, what the bigger sort of value proposition is. You've got a beachhead in the home. There's some responsibilities come with it, costs associated with it, with supporting it, you know, running a help centre and so on and so forth. But obviously, you know, you've got to see what the bigger kind of picture is in terms of having that beachhead and exploiting it for multi-room consumption or upsell or so on and so forth. That's the kind of environment that we're working in right now.
I think the closer term opportunity and lower hurdle to jump is becoming the LAN and the distribution system within the house. And, you know, whatever the feed is, you know, the responsibility starts on the other side of that feed. And the boxes that offer the ability to connect TVs via whatever infrastructure is in place, cable or wireless LAN or whatever, those boxes, at least in my experience, can be a year on back order. But the boxes that are more simple, you can have them now. And so there's a demand that seems to be surprising to some folks. They didn't anticipate this demand for households that want to use the set-top box as the entertainment center, the hub inside the house, but that's where it stops.